So if you're anything like us, you've ended up with these on your garlic or onions. These are called scapes. These grow on your garlic towards the end of the growing season. But don't worry, if you just take them off, your garlic will happily keep growing the bulb. Now, don't waste these. They've actually got a very nice garlic flavour. Not quite as strong as the bulb, but you can use them. And today, after I've got just a small harvest, because we've used half of it already, I thought I'd show you one of the ways that you can actually use these to your advantage. Again, technically it's another freebie, and I just love getting a freebie meal. So I'm going to make a garlic pesto. Now pesto is really quite easy to make, and it can be very individually styled. So if you don't like a particular herb, change it. If you don't like pine nuts or have a nut allergy, choose some other seed. Now I'm using sunflower seed, which I've lightly toasted in a dry pan, just to bring out the oil somewhat and give it a fantastic roasted flavour. It smells so nice. Now, one of the reasons I've chosen sunflower seeds is, one, I have tons of them from last year, so that's a freebie. And two, have you seen the price of pine nuts? It's shockingly expensive. Also, some hard cheese. Now, most people use Parmesan, and I've also got some parsley from the Allotment and a little bit of basil too. Now, I don't want too much basil because it can become very, very strong. You also need half a lemon and olive oil. I actually use rapeseed oil. It's a lot cheaper, and this is British grown, which is fantastic. It's a lot more mellower than olive oil, but it's still got a fantastic taste. I'll actually add the list of ingredients and the amounts actually in the video as well, but it's very, very simple. Now we just need half a lemon. This is the lemon that I actually took the zest off for my elderflower cordial. So half of that will do for this recipe too. Now with your scapes, just cut the bulbs off. They can add a little bit too much of a texture. I'm just going to literally roughly chop it into a couple of inches and just shove it in. Now I may actually have some more scapes growing. So if I do, I can actually just make some more pesto. Now I'm going to store this pesto in a jar and actually just make some pasta dishes this week. But pesto is really one of those versatile things. You can add it to bread and pop it in the oven for a little bit, so it just melts onto that cheese, creating your own garlic bread. Now with my bread, I love to do the no knead overnight breads because I struggle to actually knead bread. I don't produce the most prettiest food, but I love to produce good tasting food. So in that scape, I'm just going to blitz these down just a little bit so it chops it down a little bit. And I'm just going to give it a pulse once or twice. Just breaks it down a little bit. Now in that mix, I'm going to shove my sunflower seeds in. Again, lightly toasted. My basil. A little bit of my parsley, and I'll see how it tastes afterwards. A good pinch of salt, or to taste. Now I'm using flake sea salt. I think it's got so much more flavour, and it's worth spending that little bit extra on that salt. Now I'm not going to put my cheese in just yet, but I will put in about half a cup of my oil. Just look at the colour of that. Now I'm going to play it by ear. I'm going to start off with half a cup. but I may need more, depending on how thick you actually want your pesto to be. Now this particular blender isn't all that great, but I have to work with what I've got, and I'm just going to scrape down the sides and see if I can get a little bit more out of it. Now pesto can be as thick or as thin as what you want it. You can have it chunky, you can have it however you want to do it. I think that's why I like it so much, because you really can just add in whatever you want to add in to go with the dish that you want to have it on. Now I like a little bit of sea bass with a little bit of pesto, something really, really fresh. Now I'm going to actually add a little bit more oil into this because I want it a little bit looser. I'm going to add my cheese in now. Now sometimes people just stir the cheese in at the end, but I actually want it really mixed in to give it that extra flavour, so it kind of breaks down to somewhat in the actual herbs. Now, let's have a look. I'm just going to pop a little bit on my, so I don't contaminate my spoon. More than enough salt. You have to be careful with your salt in case you add a really salty cheese. Oh, that is so, so nice. Now you can add a little bit of cracked pepper into this as well. Don't think it needs any more salt. Now this is only a small amount, but I'd rather make small batches so nothing actually goes to waste. The great thing about pesto, you can actually put it into ice cube trays and freeze it that way, and then just literally add whatever amount that you want to straight from the freezer. For this week, because I am going to be using this week through a couple of different dishes, I've got a jar, and that's what this is going to go into. Now this is quite thick. Again, if you want a runnier one, add a little bit more oil. Thicker still, add a little bit less. I don't think you can actually go wrong with the pesto. It is literally all about the ingredients that you put in. You put good ingredients in, you'll get good ingredients out. So, that's my jar of pesto. How simple was that? And literally created in minutes. In fact, if I wasn't filming, it would be even quicker. Oh, it smells so nice. Now those garlic scapes aren't overly strong either. There's just that little hint of garlic. The one thing I did do though is forget my lemon juice. Now I'm only going to put a little bit in. I don't want it too lemony. Don't need the pips though. And I'm just going to put half of this juice in. Because to be honest, I'm more than happy with the flavour already. So that is your garlic scape pesto. Now some garlic scapes are a little bit stronger than others, so you really do have to play it by ear, but this has got a nice hum in the background of garlic without it being too powerful. And I can't wait to have this on some maybe toasted bruschetta, a little bit of sourdough maybe, ran through some pasta, even as a chicken breast marinade. Loads of potential with different types of pestos you can use. I'm just happy I was able to make something so tasty from the allotment. The only thing that wasn't from the allotment was the cheese and the oil. You never know, in the future I might be able to produce something like that. But that is just so, so good.